After I defeated everyone else in the tournament, Yujiro Hanma decided to mess with me, so he snuck up behind my wife. He threatened her life, and that was the last mistake he would ever make. And then I said, I am not Baki and I am not your prey, I am the apex predator. And then I shot a ki blast incredibly fast through Yujiro Hanma's should, crippling his arms and making him drop my wife. And then I said, you know what, Baki was right, you really are an evil bastard and I'm nothing like you, but I've made a decision today. I'm going to start killing people like you starting today, Yujiro Hanma. And then I appeared above Yujiro Hanma and then I threw him down in the arena with such force that it put a large crater in the ground. And then I said, you have been picking on Baki Hanma for years, but he's smaller than you, dad, and you should try picking on someone your own size. And then I began to beat Yujiro Hanma half to death using my fighting style Drish Shastra. And then really quick Yujiro started trying to adapt my fighting style to make it his own, but he couldn't master it fast enough and it cost him. And then I said, you know, the unique thing about my fighting style Drish Shastra is that it's basically impossible to learn unless you're a god or you're immortal. And then I picked Yujiro Hanma up by the throat and I said, you shouldn't have threatened the people I love. And then I snapped Yujiro Hanma's neck like it was nothing, and then I punched him so hard in the face that even if he did survive a broken neck, he wouldn't survive massive brain trauma. So I basically hit him so hard that it detached his cerebellum from his brain. His head and everything is still attached and everything looks normal, but Yujiro Hanma is a dead man now. And then I dropped him on the ground like trash and I said, good riddance. And then I spit on his corpse and then I said, you can bury him now in unmarked grave for all I care, and he wasn't much of a father anyway. And then Baki Hanma said to me, I can't believe it, he's finally dead. And then I said, everything will be okay, Baki, I will see you later, little brother. And then Baki said, wait, can you teach me Drish Shastra one day? And then I said, I can try, Baki, but a fighting style like mine takes a lifetime to learn, and trust me, there's no one that can master Drish Shastra in a short amount of time, and I know this because I've been through the same thing. And after I killed Yujiro Hanma, I realized one thing, that some evil people can't be allowed to live, and I can't allow those evil people to live without real consequences. And that's when I also decided to help Peter Parker become the Black Spider-Man, decided so that Peter Parker doesn't have a dumpster fire for a life, and I just want him to have a better life, which is what that poor kid Peter Parker deserves. He was just dealt a bad hand in life and it cost Peter Parker everything, even the people he loved the most. And I think it's sad that a good person like Peter Parker had to go through a lot of bad things when he never deserved it.